In our next section, we're going to have 5 minutes of cross-examination. Each cross-examiner will ask questions. They will not make statements. The cross-examinee will answer questions and will not ask any questions. David Silverman, you are up. I think it's better, right? Well, you say podiums? Yeah, we only have the one microphone. Yeah, that's a problem. I would give the mic back and forth, but I think we'll go to separate podiums. Okay. We needed a bigger table. David, you're up.
Thank you. So I must have fallen asleep. Why is Christianity better for America anyways? You've been talking about, but I haven't heard the reason.
Christianity has played a key role in giving us our democratic system of government. Christianity has played a key role in not only the UN Charter of Human Rights, largely written, by the way, by a devout Christian, but also in the principles of the Declaration and the Constitution that affirm...
I'm sorry, today, Dinesh.
Well, don't you think we still have that Constitution today?
Yes, we do.
Right.
We still have the Constitution.
Don't we still have the same economic and political system today?
He hasn't answered the question yet, folks. Let him answer the question.
I think we're still living with the same philosophical, economic, and political principles that were inaugurated at the founding, don't you?
And that's your idea of what's good for Christianity today?
Well, I'm saying that Christianity has, that was my argument. It was crucial in the original architecture that has shaped our very characters. It shaped our very identities. You're a product of it also.
What's more important to you, Dinesh, the Bible or the Constitution?
Well, they're two different documents. I would say the Bible is more important as a spiritual document, but the Constitution is more important as a legal document.
If they conflict, in your mind, personally, who wins?
Legally, the Constitution wins.
Okay. So, would you agree that since there are 30,000 or so sects of Christianity, that there are lots of Christians who believe that the Bible would win if in a conflict?
And there's nothing wrong with that either. In other words, I would appeal here to Martin Luther King's principle. The Constitution itself makes provision for dissent. If someone is a conscientious objector, let's say someone says, I don't want to go to Iraq because the Bible tells me it's wrong. And the Bible doesn't say anything about Iraq, but let's say someone thought it did. The fact of the matter is, I think it is the crudest simplification of history just to say the Constitution wins. The fact of the matter is, there is a provision for dissent in the Constitution itself.
Yes, absolutely, but I'm talking about loyalty. I'm talking about a group of people, a huge group of people that are loyal to a set of laws above the law of the land. Can you tell me that you think that's good for the country?
Yes, I think it's very good for the country. Let me ask you this. Is your highest loyalty to the law of the land? If somebody told you, if we passed a law that was affirmed by the Supreme Court that said that mothers must have abortions whether they want to or not, and this was affirmed as legal by the Supreme Court, would you go along with it?
No, I would oppose it.
Okay, so you have a higher morality too.
That does not mean I have a set of laws that I rate higher than the Constitution.
Yes, it does.
You do.
No, you did.
I'm not talking about a personal one law. I'm talking about a set of laws by a preacher that a huge group of people rates more important, higher on the level than the law of the land. How can you tell me that that's good for America?
I'm saying that you endorse the same principle. You just disagree with the morality at question. I can give you a number of other examples in which you would agree that there are moral principles that you subscribe to, that if the law was different, you would nevertheless disobey that law.
I'm talking about a separate set of laws that I hold higher than the law of the land.
And you're denying that you subscribe to a higher set of moral principles that if the law of the land contravened them, you would go with the law of the land.
No, I would dissent, but it doesn't mean I have a loyalty
to someone else. You just haven't assembled
those
things into a set.
No, I'm saying I don't have a loyalty to someone else, and you do. And that's not good for America.
It's not...
Let me go on. I'm running out of time.
Well, the only difference is that you have the same absolute morality, which you don't trace to a creator. You're saying that for some reason, because I think that this same moral law has a moral lawgiver, and you don't, your moral laws are okay, but mine aren't.
No, I don't have an absolute moral law.
David, you have about a minute left if you have one more question.
I got one more question. Do you agree that condoms prevent pregnancy and the spread of disease?
I'm sorry, can you...
Do you agree that condoms prevent the spread of disease?
Yeah, they can, absolutely.
Is it better to have sex with a condom or without?
Well, from the point of view of preventing disease, of course it is.
Okay. So...
But on the other hand, to me, the greatest motive of having sex is not disease prevention.
Yet you...
I can think of other benefits.
But given the fact that 95% of the country is having premarital sex, you oppose condoms and you equate it, you mention it, as immoral as abortion or any of the other things that you pick to be immoral. How do you justify that with morality?
Well, David, you said at the beginning of this debate that you're going to focus on facts.
Yes.
So can you quote a section from my writings now or in the past where I quote oppose condoms?
Yeah.
When?
You've opposed condoms in a lot of your debates.
I have?
Yeah.
I never...
Oh, are you saying you don't oppose condoms and you don't view them as immoral?
Look, I believe that within a committed marriage you don't need condoms.
I'm talking about premarital sex to condoms. That's not an answer to my question. Are you saying that condoms are moral?
I have never spoken against the legality of condoms.
That's not what I asked either. Are you saying that condoms, and I'm not asking about legality at all, are you saying that condoms are moral or immoral?
I think that that's a bogus question because legality... Let me tell you why. The issue of legality is what applies to other people. That's like asking me whether or not I like horror films. I may not like horror films, but I'd have nothing against horror films being legal, so anybody else is welcome to go to horror films. So why should my taste in horror films be used as a prohibition on society as a whole? I've never spoken against condoms.
All right, thank you. We need a fact checker on that one, I think. We'll continue with Mr. D'Souza now. We'll cross-examine David Silverman.
Can you think of any secular reason to be against abortion?
Yes.
So you think it's quite possible for somebody to be against abortion even if they're an atheist?
Yes.
And in fact, there are atheist groups against abortion?
Yes.
So opposition to abortion by itself is not a religious position?
By itself, no.
Yes. And therefore, all the stuff that you said about the Christian role in abortions, the Christians could just say, we have very good reason for opposing abortion that Jews and Hindus and Muslims and even atheists can agree with. Just because we're Christians and we oppose abortion doesn't mean that this is a purely theological view. It could very well be a moral or political view, right?
That's not the position that they take, but it could be a moral view.
And since you don't know what's in their minds and what is their real motive inside their heads, isn't it possible that the arguments that they give for abortion, such as it is the killing of unborn human life, should be taken at face value?
The principal reason that they oppose abortion is because somebody has decreed that a zygote is a conscious, sentient life with a soul. That's not right. That's imposing your religious views on other people. If they took the view that abortion, if they took the secular view, it wouldn't be such a problem in my mind.
So you're saying that if I think that a zygote, a blastocyst, has a right to life. Let's say I don't even think it's a human life, it's a potential human life. I don't think that potential human life should be snuffed out. You're saying that because the Pope or some other religious authority issues a similar position, therefore my position is invalidated, it becomes a religious position, it doesn't belong in the public square, even if I can give moral reasons to support it.
No, that's not what I said.
Well, what are you saying?
I'm saying that if you use your political power as a religion, because of your religious views, to force it on other people, that's unethical as far as the American policy is concerned.
Let's probe that for a moment. Are you saying that, let's say for example, that 60% of the people in America are devoutly religious, and because of their religion, whether they're Jewish, Christian, Hindu, or whatever, they have certain political views, right?
Yeah.
And they want to advance those views in a democratic society in which believers and non-believers both share the public square. Are you saying that all people whose views have a religious origin should automatically be disqualified from bringing those views to the public square so that the public square is then a monopoly of secular atheists?
No, I'm saying religion should not be allowed to use its views and push its views as an organization, as in fact a separate country, onto our American society.
And why? Now let's ask why that is. Because you would agree that if somebody was a Republican or a Democrat or a Libertarian or the National Rifle Association or an atheist, that they should be perfectly free, as they do.
As should Christians.
Pardon?
As should Christians.
But I thought you just said...
I'm talking about Christianity. I'm talking about organized religion pushing itself on people who are not adherents. That's the problem.
So you have no problem in other organizations. I mean, you talk about organized Christianity. Isn't the National Rifle Association an organized group?
It's not a religion, last time I checked.
Yes. Okay, so let's explore that. So if you're promoting guns and the right to buy an Uzi, you can organize all you want. You can put all the money you want into campaigns. You can hire all the lobbyists you want. But if you're the Presbyterian Church and you want to start a hospital or put up a statue to, let's say, Paul in the public square, you can't do that because you're organized religion. Why is that?
If we have freedom of religion in this country, that means one religion doesn't get to assert itself on the population at large. This is a very simple question.
That's a non sequitur.
No, it's not
Yes,
a non sequitur. It's completely logical.
You're confusing two principles. First of all, if we have other organizations involved in politics, do we have a national establishment of the NRA? No. The NRA can participate in politics, and it doesn't violate any no establishment clause. Every other organization can participate in politics, and it's not seen to jeopardize the existence of the state or as an official state endorsement. The government gives money to farmers. Is the United States establishing farming as a national occupation? No. You're looking at me,
and I don't
know if you're
Dinesh.
being
I really don't.
cunning or obtuse. But what I'm trying to say is, the fact that the government subsidizes something doesn't make it an establishment. If the farmers can get money...
But we have a federal law against the establishment of a religion. That's the whole point. But an abortion is doing that. That's exactly what Christianity is. When Christianity comes on and asserts itself and says, we are going to use our money and power to establish our religion, the religion of anti-abortionism, against non-adherents, no, that's illegal. That's
David,
bad for America.
Anti-abortionism is not a religion. It's a point of view. It's a position on a moral issue.
All right, that concludes our cross-examination by Mr. D'Souza. We'll have a 5-minute rebuttal by David Silverman and then Mr. D'Souza, and then we'll be ready for questions. David, you have 5 minutes.
So I have 5 minutes, and then he has 5 minutes, and then we're done. Is that right, or we have 3 minutes?
Questions from the audience and closing statements.
Well, that's...
Yes,
okay.
exactly.
Dinesh, you've been known to say you don't like cafeteria Christianity, that your Christianity is contextual and not cafeteria. Is that correct?
No, this is your time to rebut, not question me.
No more cross-examination.
You're just giving a 5-minute speech.
I'm sorry. Yes. I'm sorry. I'm a little confused because I thought we were supposed to go back and forth.
I like the questions, but I am only the titular moderator here. I'm looking for a signal. We can go with more questions? Both gentlemen agree with more questions? You want to do
I
like
agree.
the questions.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right. Questions. Fire away.
Why don't you question me for 5 and I'll question you for 5.
There you go. I think that's a good idea.
Okay, so your religion is contextual and not cafeteria.
Right.
That's your words, right?
That's my words.
I'm getting that quote right, right? Aren't these both examples of you interpreting passages as you see fit?
There's no contradiction. There's no contradiction between looking for a contextual Christianity and using your own interpretation, any more than if I were to take the position that we can't read Hamlet except in context. You can't quote isolated passages, but that doesn't mean I don't have my own interpretation of Hamlet. I do.
But you do talk about an absolute morality that comes from the Bible, do you not?
The absolute morality does not come from the Bible. The absolute morality comes from conscience.
Comes from conscience, so
yes.
Everybody has a different conscience.
Everybody has not a different everybody has a different set of neural networks in their brains, but the moral law that conscience appeals to is shared by all normal human beings.
But we all differ on what morality is.
No, we don't. We differ on the application of it.
How so?
Well, let's give you an example. If there was a small dog on the stage here, and then our worthy moderator got up and began to stomp on the dog, I think a wave of revulsion would spread throughout the audience, showing that there's a shared moral response to a simple event. Now, admittedly, if it was a cat, we might go different ways.
But that doesn't come from Christianity, that doesn't come from God, that comes from us.
David, when I opened the Bible and I read the 10 Commandments, I did not go, wow, stealing is wrong. Wow, murder's wrong. What a discovery. I already knew that.